drone ready to be deployed. There it is over there, and there you can see Seb's handiwork, and it's just starting up now, and soon it will take off into the sky. Off it goes. Woohoo! And now you've got the drone feed, and now I am going to start driving around, and we're going to get the drone to follow us as we go. Woohoo! And it's all good practice for us just to familiarize ourselves with what the drone is capable of, and especially for Seb to start getting some practice. He is going to be the drone pilot for the next few weeks leading up to our next set of TV shows in the beginning of February? What month are we in? Yeah, it is February. It's the beginning of February that we'll be doing some TV shows. And like I said, Seb is going to be the pilot. Oh, sorry. Now what doesn't make Seb's life easy is as we drive along these bumpy roads, that shakes him off. And the sun also makes things a little bit tricky. But now we are on track. And Steve says he can see the drone above him, so maybe if Seb just looks below him, you might get a quick view of Seb's vehicle. And we'll move it away from there because Steve is enjoying that sighting with some other guests, so we'll avoid them and just continue on with our mission. What fun! It's an incredible beast, this drone, and what a cool way to show you guys what it looks like from above as we drive through this quite thick vegetation. You'll notice there's lots of small trees dotted through this area of the reserve, and it gives you a good idea of how big the blocks are also between all the roads. You see how big the blocks are. Kaylin, you've mentioned that now we are the new Ronald the Rover. And exactly how things are changing this afternoon.
And it does indeed look like pork is on the menu. And Thandi is busy eating the leg there. And as the cub started coming closer, she actually turned her head on it and was growling at the cub. Typical sort of behavior of a solitary animal, not used to sharing its meat, so she's going to have to learn to share meat with the cub, who doesn't really need it at the moment. She's getting all the milk she needs from Mum, but she's still very interested in what Mum's doing, and she's going to go investigate. But I think the look Mum gave her before indicated, this is mine, not yours. I'm hungry. But she's going to come. Let's see what she does. Good afternoon and welcome. My name is Steve Falconbridge, and I'm joined by VM on the camera, and we have for you a leopard, female leopard, with her cub feeding on a warthog. We are in Djuma, Private Game Reserve, South Africa, and this is marvelous. Please feel free to ask any questions below. This is incredible stuff. We have a female leopard with a 3-month-old cub, and she has got a baby warthog kill. The cub is just to the bottom of your screen. You can just see the ears. And Mum is busy feeding. And she wasn't showing too much interest in letting the cub come and feed. A cub of that age is essentially completely reliant on milk. And so she doesn't need the warthog. But there she is, beautiful leopardess, known as Thandi around here. She's about 12 years old. And she's absolutely gorgeous. There is the face of the warthog. It has been dead for some time, we think. Laura, welcome. Hi, you've never seen a wild leopard. Have you ever seen one of those? That is a baby. Look at him. I mean her. It is a little girl. That was a fantastic look she gave you there, Laura. She was saying, well, now I see you. Mandy, this is extremely cool. It is about as cool as it gets in the African bush. This leopard cub, as I said, is only about 3 months old, and we are seeing her on a regular basis now, and she is full of beans. She's running around, she is climbing, she is biting everything she can see, and Mum has been keeping her here in a little termite mound, which is kind of just about where she is now. This tree is growing out of that termite mound. And there we go, eating the leaf, getting very exploratory. Look at that face, isn't that a picture? Now, please understand, folks, these are completely wild leopards. They are not tame. Just through 60 years of habituation, they've become quite relaxed to the vehicle. Ranch. Indeed, this is a big, big wow, and absolutely beautiful. I was telling viewers before that this is the first time in my life that I've seen leopard cub of this age in the wild, and I saw her for the first time last week, and it is just marvelous to be able to spend time with these little cats and to watch them behaving like this. Normally a leopard is very shy, turns and runs and hides away, but because of very long ongoing habituation work, we can watch these animals in their normal behavior. And Jean, just like every other house kitten, indeed just a lot bigger and a lot more, a lot more powerful. I don't know what the average house kitten would weigh, but probably about the same as this little cub would weigh. It's probably about 3 kilograms now, so that's probably about 6 to 8 pounds, maybe less than that. Whereas the adult that's feeding there is about 45 kilograms, which is about double that in pounds, probably about 90 pounds. So a lot bigger and heavier than your average house cat. H. Macy, that is a very good question. If hyenas come, will the cub be able to get up the tree? And we saw this morning, one of my friends was here, and actually watched the mother going up the tree and encouraging the cub to follow. V just panned left. She's moving the warthog now. You can see that it's a little baby warthog, very easily carried. Very similar how she would carry her cub. And maybe she just heard what she said, and she's going to move the kill away from her cub. It is not the most wisest choice to have your meat, which ends up giving off a smell, to attract hyenas. But yes, the cub is learning to climb, and she's coming right behind us. Unfortunately, we have the aerial behind us, but she is possibly going to go up a tree now. I'm not sure. Great, I'm glad you can still get her there, V. And we do have a big antenna on the back of the vehicle, so I apologize for that. We're going to go the other way. Yes, she's going to go up the tree, folks, I'm guessing, by her intention. She doesn't want to lose this. She heard H. Macy mention the word hyena, and there she goes. Look at that. Look at that. Fantastic. Now, this is the element that the leopards absolutely dominate in. Pound for pound, the strongest cat. Their ability to hoist their prey up the tree is what gives them the edge over the other predators. It means that they can kill animals and they can stash it up the tree. Obviously, lions can go up trees, but not as agile. They're twice as big, twice as heavy as your average leopard, sometimes more so. So leopards can go to the top branches of these trees and then feed at their leisure. There's a very important strategy for avoiding hyenas. And you saw how effortlessly she did that. Leopards are able to hoist prey almost equal in their weight. And we're going to stay on her, but as she moved away, I just kept my eye on the cub. And because Mum has moved away, the cub has run straight into her little burrow in the termite mound. Yes, Susie, I could watch these all day myself. Next time I'm going to bring lunch and just spend the entire day here. Only problem is it gets a little bit hot. But yes, these are unbelievable animals to watch. But the problem is during the middle of the day, the cub go up there to feed? I don't think so. She's just behind that bush there. The cub will be able to climb. I don't think the tree she's gone up she'll be able to climb. I think that's a bit much for her to go up. But most certainly in a few months, 3-4 months, she'll definitely be joining Mum up there to feed. But at the moment, that cub is completely dependent on Mum's milk. So she's not needing the meat that Thandi has up there in the tree. The bacon. She's making bacon. This is marvelous stuff. Where did she go? Maybe she's coming around to sneak up on us, but I think Thandi's trying to find a spot to position the warthog, or looks like she might be feeding on it. But to come back to the question about if hyenas came, the den site here is a termite mound, which is a hole in the ground that is quite small that the cub can quite easily scurry into if need be, and at the first sign of danger she will do so. Okay, so there we go. Watch this, folks. Watch how she comes down. Word. She's... Can you all hear that? It's a simple little contact call of the leopard. I do not do it any justice. It's possible she would like her cub to come up, but I think the cub is too small to climb up a tree like that. And I think she's just more interested to know where it's gone off to. I can hear in the background the spurfowl alarm calling. Can you see her, V? There we go. The cub is coming to her. This is incredible. Ah, oh, contact calls back to Mum. Mum is coming down the tree. This is phenomenal. Sorry about the aerial again, folks. There she is. Much fun. Look at that camouflage though, folks. Unless VM zooms right in on it, it's very hard to see. Slowly coming down, little one. There she is. Look at that. Isn't that a picture? Yes, I love her paws too. Look at the size of those feet. She's going to grow into them and hopefully become a very successful leopard like her mother. Hey girl, it's okay. It's okay, Thandi. It's okay. She's not liking me right now. Did you see she gave me a very nice look? But all I'm going to do is hold my breath a bit and not look at her in the eyes. It's very important not to look at a leopard in the eye. Very important to also keep my voice down. She's just walking right past. And if you've ever been warned before by a leopard, that was it. I must admit my heart is racing right now. It's very hard to understand that feeling unless you've experienced it. The cub is keeping her distance from us, but she's relaxed. Mum is relaxed. Mum gave me her warning. She seems to have quite a full belly. Wonder if that's for milk, or if she had a little bit of that warthog. She's just done a complete 360 around us, and the cub is now stopped. Wow, my heart is racing. So folks, for those of you who have been very much, if you'd like to watch more of the show, please Google Safari Live and you can continue. We have another half an hour or so, maybe 20 minutes left of the show. Catch us there, and on that note, good night. So welcome back to all the internet viewers. This is unbelievable. My heart is still racing, and while I catch my breath, we're going to go back across to Herbie, who has some more interesting plants.
Well, yes, like Herb says, stay away from the tumbuotis. They will make you ill if you consume them or cook with them, as I'm sure he made clear to you. Now, as you can see, we have got Ronald the rover in a prime position at the zebra carcass, and some very, very interesting behavior has happened. Earlier on, we saw this lioness have a scrap with the other slightly younger looking lioness, and I was quite surprised by that. There's so much meat, so little competition between them, yet there was that scrap. And then now this tiny, poor little bony cub that's dying for a meal also went and approached the carcass, and the same lioness attacked this cub quite ferociously, which really doesn't make sense, because there's more than enough food to go around. And yes, lions and all adult big cats will look after themselves before the cubs, and that's paramount for them to be able to survive and provide cubs for future meals. They won't be doing it out of spite. They'll only be doing it in tricky and trying times that they'll have to fend for themselves and take care of themselves ahead of cubs. But this doesn't seem to be a situation like that. So really, really interesting stuff. And I'm not too sure where the cub has gone, but shame. I mean, the poor thing is dying for a meal, and this lioness is not wanting to give up any of the carcass to it. Now, sadly, we don't have the best views now that the lioness has moved on this main cam. So let me just scoot forward a little bit for a second. Got a bit of a funky clutch at the moment, hence us flying forward uncontrollably there. I don't know if we've even managed to get into a better spot. I just switched the car off as soon as kind of medium. Okay, there we go. And it looks like she's about to start feeding, and this will be a good opportunity for us to start creeping forward with Ronald. So take a look here, and what you'll be surprised by is that this lioness isn't too concerned about Ronald. The other one was a little bit more interested by it, but this lady isn't. And I'm obviously going to just move very slowly. So take a look here, and what you'll be surprised by is that this lioness isn't too concerned about Ronald. The other one was a little bit more interested by it, but this lady isn't. And I'm obviously going to just move very slowly. So take a look here, and what you'll be surprised by is that this lioness isn't too concerned about there on your zebra pillow. Shame, it's been a long hot day, and if she wasn't being so spiteful and trying to hoard all of this meat for herself, it would probably allow her to relax elsewhere, whilst the Aya lioness could kind of take turns in guarding the kill. Donna, you can confirm that this is in... What you up to? Oh, you're going to start snacking? No. So let me try and get you guys a better view. Just going to have to move out of this spot, go a little bit this way, and then I should be able to get you some great views. Just trying to keep an eye on her while I move. Well, I don't think it's going to get any better than that for the time being. And Heidi, you've just mentioned that the light is perfect. Yes, we've got some great light here. And it looks like she is going to continue now to gorge herself on the hind quarters of this zebra. What an incredible view. This is so cool. As you can see, as she's feeding, she's moving that branch into the way of the rover's camera, but she needs to do what she send you back to
We have Thandi, and the youngster is now feeding. Even though she had such a full belly before, she is feeding. So she's going to turn out to be very strong. The kill up the tree was still, and maybe as it cools down a bit more, Thandi will go back up there and do some feeding of her own. What an amazing creature. My heart is still a little bit in my mouth, but it's impossible to explain the feelings. I think she was just about a meter from me here. A little bit of a surprise. As I was looking at the monitor, VM was filming the cub, and as I looked right, she was there. Dale asked the questions, do leopards only have one baby? And no, they normally have about average 2 to 3, but as they get older, normally 2's the average, and what normally happens is 2 or 3 answers. There might be a bit of luck, but the ability of the mum to be, or a good mum, is very, very important. So 3 is... I know there's a couple leopards in the area that are...
Yes, we are here, and we've repositioned Ronald into a wonderful, wonderful spot. And I'm astounded by the fact that this lioness, who hasn't been exposed to the rover very much as far as I'm aware, is absolutely, completely relaxed with its presence. As you saw, as we moved it around a little bit earlier, she hardly paid any attention to it, and you're getting the best of both views, a slightly elevated one from Seb's camera now, and one from close-up right there with the zebra with Ronald. The other lion lying up not too far away in the shade. Oh no, is there... the drone's in the way of the lioness, sadly, but there's the little cub, and her mom's lying off just to the right of her, but sadly the drone is in the way of that shot. And I'm just so kind of heartbroken and astounded by the fact that this cub was not allowed to feed earlier by the lioness that is currently feeding. And as you can see, it's not in the best shape, and it could do with all the nutrition it could possibly get. So interesting stuff here, and I guess a lot of dynamics out in nature are just, you know, inexplicable when we look at it as a human from the outside. But there must be some reason why. I'm not too sure what it could be, but definitely something that we need to keep track of and keep monitoring. Sadly, we don't get to follow these lions as much as we would like to, because they spend a lot of time off our area of traverse, so we don't know too much history of this cub. I don't even think there is a chance that this cub has actually never been seen up until this morning by any of us. So with them for now, though, back to Ronald and this lady who is enjoying this zebra carcass It'll be interesting to see if they are still here in the morning. There's still quite a lot of meat that remains, and provided it doesn't get stolen by hyena this evening, which there is a chance of with just 2 lioness, if enough hyena come onto the scene, they could overpower and overthrow these ladies from their kill. So it'll be an interesting time later on tonight. And of course, first thing tomorrow when we come back to establish what's going on. We've just yeah, it really is fascinating. I was kind of mildly surprised that the 2 lioness had a go at one another earlier on, but when this lady went at that cub and quite ferociously, not a little tap on the head saying go away, she really kind of laid into it, which is certainly not normal behavior. What I'm also not too sure of regarding this pride is how many members are in it at the moment and where the rest of the pride could be, and why these guys would have split up. You'd have thought 2 good friends would have split up, not kind of 2 that have got differences. That clearly this lioness and her partner do have some issues that they need to work out so that they don't fight over their food when there's so much. Very good. We need to rest you across to Herb, who's got a bird before it flies away.
Thanks, Herbie. I'd love to hear your version of the woodland kingfisher. It's a call I refuse to attempt. It's way too much effort. I don't think I have the tongue for it. But yes, we are back with Thandi's cub. She is finished feeding, and she is awake, which is awesome. Thandi is also quite alert. There's alarm calls, all sorts of alarm calls coming from behind us, but we haven't quite noticed what it could be. I mean, VM is just saying you never know, another leopard, another hyena could at any stage join a sighting like this. So it's important to keep your wits about you, and she definitely is very alert, Thandi, very alert to what's going on around her, and at this smallest sign of danger, appear into thick undergrowth. Wouldn't want to mess with a leopardess with a cub. It's the last thing in the world you want to bump into on foot. That and a lioness with cubs. Because as all you mothers out there know, you will die for your children. Is that not so? There's nothing more dangerous than an angry mother, especially when the babies are there. It's so nice to watch this cub just behaving and playing. She's getting so adventurous. There we go. She's got herself a bit of soil. Look, Mom. Or was that elephant dung? I'm not quite sure. She caught it. She made her first kill. Yeah, she's going to stalk Mum. Watch. Here it comes. Whoa. You see this? She's very young, but that whole object of lying very low, very flat, and that immediate sort of explosion of speed is something that is key to the leopard's strategy of attack. And only a 3-month-old cub, but she's honing those skills. And Mum, it's only the beginning of her attack on Mum, and the tail has already seen a couple attacks. And the cub is going to get bigger. Insects. She's now smelling where the warthog was. It's a smell that she'll become from having to, when it comes to digesting rot. Both feed on only fresh meat. Neither of those two parties have really evolved the ability to steal the food from larger predators. The leopard, though, not just its ability to steal food. Here we go. Here comes another attack. Another attack. Ooh! Lots of oohs and ahs, folks. Ah, no, it is just too gorgeous. But a leopard has got a better constitution for feeding, because it can feed on an impala carcass or something that's rotting in a tree for 2 to 3 days, and that takes a much better stomach than what we have or what a cheetah have. Screenshot time. Francis from Israel, you're asking me a question about, do I think this cub is advanced for its age? I don't know. I mean, this is the first time in my life that I'm seeing a cub of this age in the wild. But as far as things go, I believe it is pretty normal, pretty standard with regards to its size and its exploration abilities and its just general behavior. Obviously, it's got quite a little personality, which most of the viewers out there can probably agree with, because they've been following the show for years. Maybe they can comment what they think. Do you think that this cub is more advanced than it should be for its 3 months of age? Lots of viewers out there that know these leopards very intimately. I wonder if you can help Francis out there. She comes again. Mum's tail is just endless amounts of fun. She's still just got those milk teeth. Wait until they get a bit sharper. It's a follow me sign and a toy at the same time. I mentioned that the cub uses to follow Mum through the long grass when she's following. Have left us. Can you believe we are here on our own watching this in the drainage line? Nice and cool. We could stay here all evening if we didn't get hungry. Very good friend Scott Dyson, who has a hungry lion.
Yes, we do have a hungry lion and lots of flies who are busy doing their business on that twig and on the carcass beyond it. Now, it seems like the lioness may have just stopped feeding. We can switch over to the rover cam to get a view of her panting and deciding what she wants to do next. Sadly, we don't really have a view of her from where we are positioned here with the main cam on the vehicle. And absolutely awesome stuff. What a drive it's been this afternoon. Not only this morning, but also this afternoon we've been absolutely spoilt by some fascinating sightings. What is your next move going to be? Are you going to lie down next to the rover and have another snack? It looks like you are. She's not quite finished yet. There's lots of nice hunks of meat there that she can rip off. And aren't these views just too good to be true? I must reiterate and apologize. I did touch on it a bit earlier about the writing that you can see on the center of your screen or the bottom of your screen. We're going to work on trying to resolve that problem, but at the moment we're not too sure how to actually get rid of it at the time being, so forgive us for that. But the views that we are getting here, I think, override that writing. And if you're looking at the writing, urge you to just rather look at where the real action's at, and that's where the lions are gobbling up this zebra. She's battling to find a spot that she's comfortable to kind of chew on, though. It seems like she's trying to work out her next angle of attack to get some nice hunks of meat. Tricky business, that is for certain. These wild animals often make it look a lot easier than it is to consume raw, fresh, unprocessed meat. Judith, you've noticed her claws piercing into the zebra's skin as she tries to get a good grip, and yes, they are extremely sharp flesh in comparison to the hide of the wild animals that roam these plains. Well, like I said, what an incredible day it's been out on safari in Africa, not just here in the Sabi Sands, but also up in the Masai Mara with the crew up there. A big thanks to everyone involved, the technicians that get all the wizardry together to send you these pictures, the girls in the final control room, and the cameraman. Well played to everyone. Be sure to tune in to tomorrow's safaris to make sure you don't miss out on any action.